Somebody doesn't want to feel their past wounds, and they have been protecting their heart and guarding their heart with their reputation also being at stake. Hi, my name is Theresa. If you want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. Let's find out what's going on here, because this person doesn't want to feel their past wounds. They're protecting their heart. They're protecting their reputation. They're very much guarded when it comes to not wanting to expose what they're thinking or what they're feeling. Does look like this person feels very insecure. They may be somebody who constantly says, oh, were you with somebody else? You're going to find someone else who's better than me. Do you want to be with somebody else? Everybody would want to be with you more than me. This person is very insecure, and they've never felt this way before. There's something different about you with this person, and this person is trying to protect their heart by not maybe going all in. Why is they don't want to feel their past wounds? This person has trauma from their past they haven't addressed. You make them want to be a better person, but they don't want to have to deal with these past wounds. So this is someone who has chosen to ignore these wounds from their past and not really address them. Why are they trying to protect their reputation? Okay, so they are trying to be and operate in their divine masculine energy. That if they get into their feminine energy, that would be too sensitive, and they may not be viewed as a masculine. So this could be a man, doesn't have to be, but this is somebody who definitely is trying to protect their reputation. It could even be a woman who doesn't want to be emotional because she may not be seen as someone who's strong. Why is guarded heart here? Okay, well, this person is needing to complete a lesson about their heart, but they've been guarding it, and they've been guarding and protecting this past wound instead of addressing it. They keep accusing you. Is there someone else? Is there anyone else? So let's take a look here. They keep wondering if you have changed your mind about them. There is a fear and insecurity because of this wound that has created a lack of stability, a lack of knowing their own value and worth. This person has thought a lot. They've done a lot of introspection about how they feel about you and this insecurity that they feel about you and the relationship the two of you have. So if you're with somebody who you're in a relationship with them, but they are constantly accusing you of talking to other people, dating other people, going to be with someone else because they are insecure, clearly, but they are doubtful, it's because they're very guarded over this wound. This wound is triggering an insecurity that's coming out on the external side. So it does look like you're somebody who's very loyal, very dedicated, and your person knows this, that you're their ride or die regardless. However, they do feel at some point you may take a chance or take a choice to go in a different direction. So they're trying to protect their reputation by not being vulnerable with this wound. They know it's one-sided. So if your person doesn't really open up emotionally, they're very much avoiding feelings and emotions, it's because they are protecting this wound from their past, that they don't really want to feel hurt and pain. So this could be something from their childhood. It could have been something that replicated into the adulthood. It could have been from a prior experience. They never really worked through it, and it's very one-sided. So maybe you're somebody who's very loving, very nurturing, you're very vulnerable, and you are expressive in that divine feminine energy. This person is not. They're very one-sided. They operate in masculine energy only. It does look like they're supposed to complete the lesson of understanding about that past trauma, that past wound, but they're very guarded, and they haven't communicated anything about it. It's something that they keep tucked away, keep hidden and bottled up within them. Now, they do keep accusing you if there's somebody else because they feel like at some point you're going to change your mind because they know they're operating in their masculine energy. And it's because they don't feel good enough. Because when you don't operate in both masculine and feminine, you're imbalanced as an individual, and that's how insecurities come out. And that's what's happening with your person is they don't feel good enough because they're not balanced, because they haven't dealt with that hurt and that trauma. And they're recognizing that this relationship, this connection with you is different. They've done introspection. Maybe they've done meditation. They've spent time connecting with their higher self, and they realize the way they feel in this connection is different than other connections. It's triggering them to try to complete a lesson that they're resisting to trying to complete. The universe is trying to teach them this lesson, but they're trying to resist it. So they see you ebbing and flowing in your divine masculine, divine feminine, and you're very balanced. Easy come, easy go is what I hear. And your person is not. They are somebody who wants to be better, but they don't really know how to be better. Okay, so they're very one-sided. They're protecting their reputation. This could be somebody who is in like a higher status, higher ranking position at their job. Maybe they own a business. They're at the top of their game. This is somebody who very much is trying to protect their reputation. Also protect the ego. The ego is protecting this wound from the past. It's kind of a deep layered thing here. It's very one-sided. Why is this one-sided? Why are they so in their masculine energy with this protecting their reputation? Because they have an unhealthy obsession with not allowing that divine feminine side to come out. So if this is a wound from maybe their childhood, maybe they were told never to be sensitive, or if they cried, they were like told they were a crybaby, or there was something that happened to them at some point, or it was a relationship that they became obsessed with having this unhealthy detachment to their divine feminine side, and that's why they only operate in the masculine energy. Now, the lesson is for them to understand how to get into the feminine energy. That's why you are triggering this person. So tell me about this. There's the ego and the pride. Yep. Their heart is very guarded. So they don't feel good enough for you because of this wound, because of this lesson that Spirit is trying to teach them. And Spirit is trying to get them to see the long-term view that operating in the arrogance or the ego and the pride is only going to work for so long. Because when you refuse to learn the lesson, that's when the universe starts to break things down around you or in your life to really force you to learn this lesson. So this person is watching you ebb and flow into your energy, and you're very balanced. And they're realizing that there's got to be a bigger plan for them. The universe does have a plan for them. The universe has, I don't know if you can see it. The universe does have a plan for them. All right. Tell me about this person knowing that they need to take a chance to try to figure this out. Tell me about this chance, this loyal and dedication you have. Okay, so they personally believe that you are a significant impact in their life for a reason. So maybe the divine has come in and has given them the guidance to let them know that they have you in their life to complete this lesson. So there's something that they feel is impacting them now. Tell me about this unhealthy obsession with this person, about protecting their reputation, staying in the masculine energy. Tell me about this unhealthy obsession. Okay, so they could be somebody who lies a lot. They could be somebody who makes it a priority to not tell you the true reason why they don't want to be vulnerable, why they're never in that feminine energy. So they could be obsessed with lying to cover things up instead of just being honest, instead of just being transparent with you. So they're very guarded. The ego and pride is getting the best of them. Tell me more about the ego and the pride. They didn't want you to really find out. If you're with somebody and they operate only in masculine energy, I don't think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out someone's avoidance. So they really didn't want you to find out that they have these past wounds. You probably have already figured it out. All right, well, now they're looking at the long term. They are realizing that they operate in an energy of acting like they're not good enough. They've lied to themselves about what their past was, about their past experiences. There's deception here, there's lies. They've not only lied to other people around them about why they don't open up or why they're not vulnerable. They may just say, I'm just not like that. But really they're lying to themselves. There is a wound from their past that they really just don't address. Well, now they know you have triggered them. You are a different connection than other connections. That you actually matter to this person, where other people maybe didn't matter as much, where the universe is using you potentially to teach this person the lesson of divine feminine energy. So this person is understanding that if they want the benefits of this connection, this friendship, this relationship, that they're going to have to do the work. So it does look like they're recognizing and they can't forget that you are somebody that they are learning this lesson for. So they can't let you go, but they realize they can no longer stay in this energy of, I don't want to talk about my wounds. I don't want to talk about my past. I don't want to talk about why I don't want to be emotional or why I don't want to be open and receptive. There's a lot that this person hasn't told you. So depending on how long you've been with this person, there's a lot of layers that go deep with this person, and these could be impacted layers. Maybe something that happened when they're younger, and then they had relationships that added more wounds and more layers to this insecurity. So there's a lot of unraveling or unpacking that this person has to do, and there's a lot that they really need to open up and talk about. So let's get some tarot and let's find out Are they going to actually be able to step up? Are they going to actually be able to step into the position of opening up? Let's first, let's get a couple cards for your feelings, and then we're going to see what are your intentions and their intentions and the likely outcome. All right, when it comes to the collective in this situation, what is the collective's energy? What is the collective's energy at this time? What's their feelings? You know it's a lesson. Look at that. We got lessons. You know that you are teaching this person a life lesson, that this is something that they're supposed to master in this lifetime. You know that this is significant. All right. You also know that this person lies. Maybe you're somebody who's very intuitive. Maybe you can read this person's mind. You can read their heart. You can read their energy or their aura. You read through the deception and you realize, LL could be significant, could be in your name or their name. You realize that there is a significant lesson for this person, and maybe that's why you're watching this message, because you're aware of it. Okay, tell me more. The collective's energy, what's their feelings or what's in their energy? You're aware of there's this lesson, there's the lies, that you realize, yeah, you can't make this up. You realize this person has past life trauma, that there is trauma that's unhealed from their past, that clearly that's why. Anybody who's not operating in both energies, you don't have to be in both energies all the time, but you have to ebb and flow at different times. And if you're predominantly only operating in one all the time, there's a reason why. And I think you know that. So you could be somebody, like I said, very intuitive. Maybe you can read energy, read aura. Maybe you're a chakra reader. You're definitely somebody who maybe is very spiritual, so you understand what's going on with this person. All right. Let's take a look and see what are your intentions versus their intentions and what's going to be the likely outcome here between the two of you. What is the collective's intentions with this person? Ooh, the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, you could be married to this person. You're looking at this for the long term. Queen of Wands. You could be an earth sign or a fire sign. King of Pentacles. Okay. And we got the Star at the bottom of the deck. So you do have hope and optimism that this can be recovered. Your person may be operating in the King of Pentacles. You could be the fire sign. You're confident that this is your person for the long term. You're looking at this as something that could be successful for the long term. Okay. Your person's intentions. The Five of Swords. The Two of Wands. The Temperance. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Cups in reverse. So if they did walk away from you, I do see they are going to return. You know, your person doesn't feel understood. And they may feel like it's very hard for them to communicate these feelings and emotions. But I do see with the Temperance, if you're patient enough with this person and you give them time to, or maybe even give them an opening to be open and receptive with you, I do see, if you're patient, that this could be healed. That you may feel it's a misunderstanding, or your person may feel like there's a misunderstanding because they've not been able to open up, but I do see that they can. It's just going to take time, and it's going to be you being able to pour into this person to help them heal through and learn this lesson. All right, what's going to be the likely outcome here? The Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups below the deck, the Six of Pentacles, the Magician. Okay. I see you, collective, as somebody who's very independent, very self-sufficient. And you may be in the energy of, you know what, I'm just going to miss out on this opportunity because I'm tired of lying to myself that they're going to eventually get there. They're going to eventually open up. And you may be disconnecting emotionally. You may be focusing more on yourself. You may be focusing on your career, your business, things that you do have control over. Below the surface, I do see with your person, they're trying to figure out what their option is, that they want to give to this. And I do see with the Magician, they're going to try to make it happen. They're going to try to create something in the situation as far as resolution. Are they going to be able to do that? Because you feel, no. Okay. You are in maybe this Page of Swords energy. So you're curious to see, are they going to learn the lesson, or are they going to choose to start to learn the lesson and then pull back again? I see there's a wait and see of, you're curious to see, are they going to follow through with it or not? And if they're not, I see the Death card being hidden. If you don't see or observe their behavior changing, where they do start opening up or getting into that feminine energy, I do see you ending things with this person. This is below the surface. Okay, well, let's get you some advice. What is going to be the advice for the collective? What's the best piece of advice? What's the guidance for the collective at this time? You may have outgrown this environment. This person is going to apologize. You may have to free yourself from any type of repetitive beliefs or patterns. So if you're somebody who always says, well, you're never going to change, you're just going to always be that same person, maybe you change up and do things a little bit different. Maybe you need to outgrow the way you've handled it in the past, allow there to be a big breakthrough, if there can be, and allow yourself to see if that can actually happen. All right. Let me give you one affirmation for this message. Closure is your choice. So your affirmation for this reading is closure is your choice. Okay, that is what I have for you, collective. If you do want your own personalized in-depth reading, check out my website, TimelessDivineTarot.com. Have an amazing day. Bye.